Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and you're catching me on my YouTube channel and Bitchute channel at True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page at True Divine 44 and The True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments, tweets, greatly appreciated. Much love to all of you who do that never endingly so, and I really do appreciate all of you that do. So this is the daily energy and tarot work that I put out to help support, guide and inspire those who want to be and need to be supported, guided and inspired. Take what resonates as it is general and leave what does not. Leave a comment as to how it resonates with you or how it does not, or just to say hi. I appreciate all of the comments and hearing how you all getting along. So this is for the 14th of February 2021. So we've got We've got the Ace of Wands on the first card here. So this is speaking of passions, unbridled passions, newly unveiled passions. A lot of you have gotten to the point of almost impulse, in that, or the energies are very impulsive right now that you are looking at and witnessing, if this doesn't resonate with you. Or you might be feeling the energy of this impulsive type energy, but trying to put a lock and chain on it for now, and you'd be good to do so. Impulsiveness without wisdom, or impulsiveness without divine timing, can be, you know, catastrophic, can be enjoyable, but it can lead to problems depending on the degree it affects you. But we've got the Hangman in reverse to clarify with the Ace of Wands. And so this really is speaking of unbridled impulse, unbridled passions. Now that could be an exciting and good thing, of course, for some of you, and enjoy if that is partly of what resonates with you. But for many people, it is today that the energies are of a lack of love, a lack of empathy. People get pushed to a point where the Hangman in its upright, a major arcana, is comfortable in stillness, comfortable in the wisdom of knowing divine timing, of gaining through growth and enlightenment in hanging and observing from a different perspective altogether. It's in the upside down, you know, which in the main part turns this world the right way up. When you can look at things and see them from a different perspective, a different light spectrum, however it might be. But there's this, people have been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed to a great extent, unfairly so, from very much so the people in control of their lives. Now, whether that's you in your individual life and those around you that are close to you, or whether that is you being pushed from the collective stage, the so-called powers that be, or witnessing loved ones or just people in the masses being pushed to these unbridled passions, these unbridled impulses, and they're fiery impulses at that. And so it's, you can push somebody so far, you can even have them for a long time feeling like they have no power over themselves, over their own lives. And you can push and bully and manipulate and control for so long, and then one day it just snaps. And you see a lot of people snapping right now, but they haven't been, for those that resonate with this part of it, is that hasn't been this practice of inner work. There hasn't been this practice of using this time constructively in order to release the power. In fact, people have had such manipulation and control. They have acted very much so similarly to the ways of the people and systems and beings that are in control and have been in control for too long, in that they join a side, they join a gang, they join something that will give them the strength that they feel they are lacking on their own as an individual. And this is playing right back into the cycle, you know, of the snake eating its own tail, into trying to use the same systems and constructs that created all of these sides and all of these divisions in order to win a battle, in which case it very rarely works. And so it is quite a heavy hitting part of the message today, in that, you know, these impulses, these branches that are snapping in many places. Don't get me wrong, in some parts of the world are necessary right now. In some parts of the world, we are going to have to do something to make stands, and that's going to be in staggering stages where eruptions occur according to the energies that are driving people. But at the same time, there's much worry about people in the collective joining sides of one way or another for the wrong reasons, for this lack of feeling of strength, this lack of wisdom, this lack of there's a lot of love in these people that has been stripped away, that has been bullied out of them, that has been manipulated out of them, that has been needs mustered out of them. And so I feel great empathy for these people today, and great compassion for them today. And for some, this kind of message will reach them to a great extent too late. It's almost as if they're going to go down this road, and many of them will discover further down the road that, you know, they've screwed up. But, you know, many of them won't discover that. And so this is the burden of seeing and knowing what these systems and so-called powers that be do to people. What these people amongst the collective that is not innocent, but these people amongst the collective that goes beyond not being innocent and likes to do the same thing as these so-called powers that be: bully, control, manipulate, and oppress, to serve their own needs. And many of whatever service that is, whatever side that is, are too blind to see the ramifications that's left for not only this generation, but the generations coming in after, the generations that are already here, up and coming through the ranks, through the ages, through the chakra systems. And what chance do we leave? We need to leave things better. We need to reach as many people as we can with frequency, with words, with compassion, with love, and show them that there is another option, that there is self-fortifying strength, that there is ways and means of being in a community that truly you can trust and truly has each other's back, and truly embraces the individual. And so this isn't easy. And people who have been wishing for different for a long time, and even people that have chosen these so-called sites, these cults, these churches, these rapture preaching churches, you know, they've been begging for this. And then when it occurs, they're begging very much so for their own demise, and still touting the lies of the very hijackers. And so this runs deep. This runs really deep today, and it's felt in the energies today amongst the people. It's felt in the impulsiveness, the red, the passion, the unbridled passion, the lack of wisdom, the lack of poise and grace and stillness and observation. So that's pretty heavy hitting. In your individual lives, on a lighter note, be careful of acting on sexual impulses. There are spiritual STDs flying all over the shop right now, as there are energies flying all over the shop in general. And these spiritual STDs are prevalent and absolutely, you know, not quite so easily cured, especially if people who aren't aware of this kind of part of this aspect of reality, you know, things can turn nasty fast, you know, in your life when you don't know where the attack is coming from. And if you've attracted something in like this, then, you know, a lot of people chase the tail trying to find what's going wrong, what's happening in their life. Sorry, the bunny's drinking. You're not done yet, Bun. So they, you know, they go in a tailspin trying to search around for the reasons of where things went wrong. If this resonates with you, then truly there is ways and means of clearing your energy field, clearing your spirit, clearing yourself from whatever freeloaders you may have picked up. There's somebody who's listening who is suffering from the attack of the, for want of a better word, Jezebel type spirit. This person, you know, having a hatred towards you, but also wanting to be you, and which is a weird scenario. And it's a very that's a scenario that runs very, very deep. And it may be that you have shared partners, not at the same time, but there's a conduit there. So have a look at that, and you can free yourself of this. It takes work, but it's absolutely doable. You can lift your frequency out of the grasp and the hatred and clasp of this person. If that resonates with you, get in touch. So the next card, we've got the 8 of Cups. And so this is the unpicking. This is where there is going to be repetitive messages with a slightly different storyline, with a slightly different slant. There is so much letting go of things that we were once emotionally connected to. Emotional cords, relationship type of chords that are not good. Not all chords are bad. You know, we can serve each other. Those who you can trust, those who you can be on a similar frequency with, you can trust. But for some of you, even that is being called into account, because this person who you trust, or this person who you know you can vibe with, actually still chooses for whatever reason to not be able to let go of people who are of lower frequency to you and to them. And so they are a conduit to that also, for you being impacted by maybe the jealousy, maybe the lower frequency energies via this person who is a friend, a lover, a partner, whatever it is to you. So you're still having to make a difficult decision, that even though this person is a person you can vibe with, the people that they are around, or the things that they continue to attract in and invite in, isn't of service to you, and is actually going to be difficult to let go and walk away from. But you know it's necessary. You know it's been there for a while. You've been thinking this way for a while. Others, for you, it's on the collective stage level of, there are parts of this system that have been so intelligently designed to run through the familial lines, run through our DNA strands, our generational behavior, our conditioned familial behavior of, you know, being a certain side, being a certain color, being a certain victim, being a certain warrior. And believe you me, there is victimhood in the warrior state also, in some aspects of continually, you know, thinking you've got to be the fighter. But there's victimhood hidden in that for some people. And so there's a lot to let go of, and very cleverly designed was this system, these systems, these many, many layers of systems, was that they would run through these family lines. So not only when you are knowing that it is necessary to walk away from these systems, these things, these beliefs, these organizations, they have been connected to a sense of emotional pride from your elders in your family. So these are the things that are going to be difficult as we roll on into these changes, to see whether we do have that warrior heart, to know that there are certain things we have to let go of, and come what may, the judgments or acceptances of others, because neither of which, no matter who it is, should matter more than self, more than your own individual path. And so this is where we see these many layers of letting go, walking away, and that's not an easy task. In the Eight of Cups, it's not an easy card. You're not clapping your hands because you're walking away. There's some kind of detrimental effect in the immediate that that is truly felt, and it's a hurt, it's a pain, it's a letting go, it's a grieving process. And so we have, to clarify this, we have the King of Cups, but it's in reverse. So where this King of Cups is in command of the Suit of Cups, in absolute emotional balance, you can see here he's got his two chalices balanced outright, exalting the waters, you know, speaking kindly to the waters, full of compassion, full of grace, and he is in control of his emotions rather than his emotions controlling him, or indeed anybody on the outside puppeting his emotions to puppet him. In the reverse, this is a very crude, narcissistic character that can come across real nice, real smooth, say all of the words that you want to hear like honey from the lips, dripping, but it's venom. And this is a bite that hurts. And so for some of you, you're seeing this character in your lives, and it hurts to see the truth behind the mask of this character that maybe you've known all of your life, maybe you've been in a long relationship with, and you know, maybe all of the words they've been, you know, you've been the envy because you've been the power couple, or whatever it is for you, however it resonates with you. You know, saying all of the right words in public, again, honey from the lips, drip, 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 but it's venom. And all of this time, you've had these emotional wool balls wrapped up, and it's taken something today for you to see that it's not what it is. It's mothballs. It's narcissistic. It's nasty. And on the collective stage, we see this, that there's these characters that are showing their face even to their most loyal of subjects. And again, this is the good part of pushing certain people to the point, because at that point, there are certain people that need this to happen, so that they'll even walk away regardless of their worst fears when it comes to the emotional state and what they might lose because of them walking away, what it might mean for the people that they have surrounding them. So it's a good aspect to that. So we've got the next card as the Six of Swords, wouldn't you know it? And this is growth. Growth in wisdom, growth in mental capacity, in intellect, and it is growth in both the mental and the waters, in the emotional. And by doing what is deemed as the impossible before, by walking away from whatever it is you've been led to walk away from and let go of, by, for some of you, going with that impulse and not staying in that stillness, and some of you being able to stay in that stillness and not act on impulse and really see through where these emotional chords are, and the truth behind the honey, that it is venom. We see that you can then maintain this emotional stillness and calm again. So where it might be chaotic in the immediate, you are ultimately opening whole new horizons up to yourself. And that is because you have reached this level of real true warriorship, of real true how do I say it, grace but strength. It's a 6. Speaking wisdom into your own emotional waters, where this upheaval of seeing these truths and walking away, letting go, creates these chaotic, very tummy churning waters, where, you get those feelings when you're about to do something that literally makes you have, tsunamis in your insides, in your gut. You can feel the blood like waves pulsing through your veins, those moments where all you hear before you say something or do something is the pulse, the beating, and the beating faster. This is where you then, through this wisdom, through this release of doing this, of acting in this bravery, you then speak calm to your waters. Now, there are people that train themselves. I do it. My good friend does it, Jem. We have been through stuff, and we train ourselves to speak to ourselves. We speak to our bodies, just like those really deep divers speak to their bodies to slow down their own heart rate. My daughter does it with the horses. She slows down her own heart rate. She can speak to her body. She can speak to her body so powerfully that she can lower that blood pressure. And these divers can do the same. They can resist the impulse to feel like they need to breathe too prematurely. And so this is where you're at. This is what this kind of growth and expansion and leveling up can be created through a process like today, as difficult and as heavy as it feels. So we've got the 5 of Wands to clarify this, and wouldn't you know it, in that there is going to be this conflict around this, both inner conflict and people who do not want you to release yourself from such burdens, burdens that you hadn't really quite calculated what they were doing to you on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis in your subconscious. And so this is where this conflict will be felt. But you see how these people are having to work so hard, hauling a whole other boat behind them, and they're having to really pull what looks like an empty vessel. It looks like, because it's not in the image of the card, it's not even, it's not really a real profit or a real dividend. It's just heavy, and more so than often, it is just the thought of what may be in this boat, what value may be one day in this boat, what that could may be saved in this boat that you can't see. It hasn't been there for you in your life. You don't need it, and you'll feel the release of it once that rope is cut. And yes, you're in a smaller boat, but you're off to much bigger horizons. So it goes from the 5 to the 6, the 6 to the 5, but ultimately the 6. And so we've got the 10 of Swords on the bottom of the deck here, which is brilliant, because this is for whoever resonates with this today, ends of very very treacherous, very tiring, very mentally exhausting cycles in your life. That these cycles can't go on endlessly. And if they do, what is life? You know, so this darkness can start to dissipate. You can see that there are only dark clouds. There's actually a bright yellow sky underneath those dark clouds. And so there's a moment to maybe grieve, maybe process mentally whatever this cycle is for you in your life, whatever this letting go is for you in your life. But the dark clouds will dissipate, and beneath that, above that, is a very enlightened sky, and actually a whole new horizons in the background as well, but still waters around it. So this pushing to the point of snapping is where you actually gain your biggest release. Sometimes the biggest favor a bully can do, no matter what the size of the bully, whether it's the government, whether it's somebody in your individual life, the best thing sometimes that they can do for the person who is being bullied is to push them to their snapping point, push them to their breaking point. The most fearful thing to see is somebody, no matter the size, no matter the gender, the most fearful thing to see is somebody who has very little or nothing to lose. Somebody who has been pushed to the point of such pain, they are numb. This is where there is great danger for the bully, whatever that bully might be. And so on the bottom of the other deck is this Ace of Cups, but it's in reverse. And so this is where there is a lack of love. This is where the underpinning energy of the clarifying energies is there is a lack of love. And that is from a state of self-love, and also what people are accepting in their lives as love, what you're seeing as love from the so-called powers that be. Are they really showing love? What you are seeing from love in people in your individual lives, what you are creating for yourself in your own love, because your cup should be running over for self, especially when you're working through these types of energies. These are difficult processes to get through. These are difficult things to navigate, and you are doing it if this resonates with you. It is not easy, not by any stretch of the imagination. So start speaking those loving words, start speaking those strengthening words to self, start speaking those compassionate words to self. Because today we are witnessing a day, and if this reading doesn't resonate with you, and you are just in witness to this, in observation to this, speak real loudly, energetically today, and in your frequency today, regarding love, compassion, strength, nurturing, nourishment, waxing of the leather, you know, where it's beaten up, where it's been well used, we put beeswax on. We strengthen it, not through beating it anymore, but putting oil on it. So do what you can. If you aren't resonating with this and you're of a higher frequency today, do what you can for the people around you, for yourself and the collective, to speak compassionate, loving words to those around you, whoever they might be, because those words are catching. And you never know, saying something compassionate to a complete stranger today might be just the catalyst they need to know that they matter, to know that they are seen, that they are not invisible to the world. You might be just the difference to stop this impulsiveness to join something or do something that would be detrimental to them and those who love them around them. So that's the reading for the 14th. Ooh-wee! Heavy hitter, but good ultimately, can be made for great good ultimately. So if you'd like a personal reading with me, or any energy work, or any spiritual coaching, you can hook up with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can send me a message at truedivine44. I appreciate, adore you all. So does Theodore. Say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
But like and subscribe, but if you're watching on Xbox,
Like and subscribe.
Emma, it will only say like and subscribe, but that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. As long as you're listening, we're happy, aren't we, Theodore? So, yeah, you can hit me up at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can get me a True Divine 44, and you are truly divine.
Like come my eyes, I should see the light thing.
Yeah. Aquarian Barbarian. Okay, to bed, sleepyhead. Thank you very much. Much balance, much love, much wholeness. Mwah.